welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Great day for football. 49 degrees and cloudy as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, we got two teams both dealing with bad cases of the injury bug on the offensive side of the football. The Bucs right guard Ali Marpet will not play today. He's dealing with an injury to the ankle. Tight end Austin Safarian-Jenkins continues to be sidelined with a shoulder injury. And for the Eagles, quarterback Sam Bradford, Ryan Matthews has still not been cleared through concussion protocol. Sam Bradford also dealing with a shoulder injury. But here's who will suit up today. As you guys mentioned, that big offensive weapon, Vincent Jackson for the Bucs. He'll be back after missing 3 games. And Jason Peters, Eagles left tackle, back from a back injury. He missed the last 2 games. Talked to him when he came back from warm-ups off the field. Said, I am definitely getting better and better, Dick.
All right, thank you, Christina. The Buccaneers won the toss. They defer, and running it out will be Josh Huff. And Josh Huff still on his feet, finally blown dead, shy of the 15-yard line. So the Eagles getting the ball first. That means Mark Sanchez, who played the second half of last week's game after Sam Bradford went out with separated shoulder and concussion as he had. And according to his coach, Chip Kelly, 71st career start, a rare backup with experience, has been to 2 AFC championship games. He's been there.
He most certainly has. And the thing that they really like about him, like I said in the open, his ability to move the pocket, get 2 different launch points on the field with the struggling offensive line. And also, he brings the ability to hold those backside defensive ends on those zone reads.
Thing he has to watch out for are the mistakes. And his first pass is out on the right side to Nelson Aguilar, the #1 draft pick from USC. Let's take a look at the backs and receivers for the Eagles. Ryan Matthews, the outstanding running back with a concussion, missing his first game of the year. So what do? They play fast. That's what they do. And this pass is going to be caught close to the first down yardage by Zach Ertz.
Starting right away with that Tiger personnel, 2 tight ends, that was huge for him, and getting Ertz established early for the first down.
And they're going to be playing fast. And this is something that the Buccaneers worked on. They didn't even huddle at all week long. And here is DeMarco Murray. And of course, loose ball and no whistle, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. There was no whistle. And no official signal has been given that the Buccaneers have the ball, and their offense has not come on the field.
There was a fumble, then it was recovered.
The ruling on the field is a fumble by the offense, recovery by the defense with another fumble. It is now first down and 10 for Philadelphia.
So 2 fumbles, and Philadelphia ends up with Brent Selleck made the recovery that really prevented huge damage to the Eagles here.
That's one thing that they said last week. The ball didn't bounce in their direction. They're lucky that they got one back to start a whole nother down.
First and 10 at the 24. Darren Sproles has come in the game.
The ruling on the field is under further review of a fumble, a second fumble, and recovery by the offense.
So no challenge here because they review all turnovers, and there was 2 turnovers here. So we will now check with a review to see if indeed Chip Kelly's Eagles did recover the ball. So we have an early break with less than a minute gone by.
This game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
We're back here, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneer offense has come onto the field here. So it might have been a fumble recovery, knee hitting down. Take a look, David.
This is the first fumble caused by William Golston, but what they were reviewing was the second fumble picked up by Jacquez Smith. The Tampa Bay offense ran on the field because if you see right there, the ball is still in control. His knees are down. It's going to be Tampa Bay football.
Brad Allen, the referee today, and what a break for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this opening series. But we have not gotten the official call from Brad Allen. Lovie Smith's Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off victory over Dallas at home, 10-6 last week, trying to win their second straight game for the first time in 31 games, and that's the longest active streak in the NFL without back-to-back wins.
And they're hoping that the addition of Vincent Jackson will give them those back-to-back wins.
Meanwhile, the Eagles losing to the Miami Dolphins after having a lead of 16-3 in the first quarter last week. And a time to say hello to old friends.
This is time offensive line and defensive line chat. But once that ball is snapped and you're
After
back into
reviewing
it.
the play, the ruling on the field stands. There were 2 fumbles. It would be first down, Philadelphia.
Well, the Tampa Bay offense came on the field, and now they're just going to go off. So they got a chance to come on there, and the Eagles will keep the ball.
Here it is again, and they're very lucky that the Philadelphia Eagles got this football back and have a whole new set of downs to reestablish and start over.
You're right, David, because Smith had both knees down when the ball came out. So now it'll be Eagles ball again. Sproles. And the pass is caught at the 19-yard line. Sproles coming in, and it's Aguilar with the reception getting 7 yards. Remember, it is now second down, and they hurry up, quick offense, and the handoff to Sproles, and he should have enough for the first down out to the 25.
This is the best thing that I've seen is Darren Sproles in the backfield. Last year, 98 snaps or 98 snaps last week, and he was only in on 17 plays. He is a matchup nightmare. He is their most dangerous player, so it's great to see that he is in right now.
And he made comments this week about the fact that he didn't think he was getting the ball enough. Meanwhile, DeMarco Murray coming back into the game, and Murray off to the right side, breaks a tackle, and Murray will get a first down as he crosses the 35. So another first down and a good block by the center, Jason Kelsey, and a pickup of 12.
Great job by Jason Kelsey being able to get out. First Tobin, then Kelsey, open up things, really testing the edges right now for Tampa Bay.
Empty backfield. Sanchez completes the pass to Brent Selleck, and Selleck may have another first down close to midfield with Chris Conte, the strong safety, making the tackle. A pickup of 11 as the Eagles playing fast from the outset here. First down from the 48. Hand off to Murray. Nothing there, picking up 2 yards. And for an early game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee in L.A. Kurt.
And an early score for Brock Osweiler and the Denver Broncos. His first NFL start, 4 plays into it, hooked up with Demaryius Thomas. 48-yard score. They're up 7-0 on Chicago. It's his 25th birthday, and I understand Dick Stockton is yours as well. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much, Kurt. As Sanchez carries, this is what he can do with his legs and gets a first down inside the 40-yard line.
This is exactly what they wanted, his athletic ability to show. Sam Bradford was not this type of quarterback that made defenses scared of him holding it and taking off.
Chip Kelly said this guy knows our offense, and there is a slant caught at the 30-yard line by Huff. And Huff still on his feet to the 10. He'll score. Touchdown, Eagles. .39-yard touchdown strike. When it looked like the Eagles may have coughed it up in their own end, they get the ball back and strike quickly.
This Tampa Bay defense has caused a lot of turnovers, but one of their MOs is poor tackling. They have the most missed tackles in the NFL, and it just showed up on that play.
So Josh Huff with the touchdown catch, and Caleb Sturgis on for the extra point. And this crowd revved up here on an opening drive touchdown and extra point, and the Eagles lead the Buccaneers 7-0.
Today's game is sponsored by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home.
And the Eagles strike first. Josh Huff, who is a third-round pick last year out of the University of Oregon. 39-yard catch for the touchdown. Sturgis kicking off. Bobby Rainey from the end zone. And Rainey doesn't get to the 20. So Jameis Winston coming onto the field. He came onto the field earlier thinking that the Buccaneers had recovered the fumble. And here's a guy, and you have to say this, David, that he's not been a rookie quarterback for a while, has he?
No, he hasn't. He's really stepped up, and each week he is making progress and stepping up, and this is the best thing that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done. No more quarterback controversy. They have their franchise quarterback.
2 interceptions last week after 4 games without one. And a first down handoff to Martin, Doug Martin, and he has been tremendous this year. Has slackened off a bit the last couple of years, and he gets enough for a first down. Taking a look at the Buccaneers, it'll be Martin and Evans, the big targets, and having Jackson is huge.
It is huge, and we're still looking at the movements that they've had. They're lucky that Evan Smith was able to come back from his injury last week to solidify that right guard position, where Ali Marpet, their draft pick this year, was unfortunate and not able to play today.
And Kevin Pamphile is an extra offensive lineman for the Buccaneers, who have a first down on the 28. Winston has time and completes the pass to the 44-yard line, and a first down to Cameron Brate, a tight end, and gets 16.
Jameis is a comfortable quarterback, and you know that this team has really rallied around him. And as a former offensive lineman and a player, you know, you want to see that enthusiasm out of a quarterback, the vocal leadership that he's shown. And it's all coming from his heart, because if it wasn't, you could see right through that stuff.
You got to be sincere. First and 10 now on the 44-yard line. And here is Martin, and Martin gets hit after picking up 2 yards. Tackled by Cedric Thornton. Taking a look at the Eagles' defenses, this is the team that has really hung in there. They have been the key for the Eagles, starting with Cox and company.
When we talked to Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers, the first thing he said, we have got to stop Fletcher Cox. He has been absolutely dominant, and with a half sack today, he will have his best total of sacks, over 5.
So this 4 and 5 team are there at 4 and 5 because of their defense. Really, they have been consistent all year long. It'll be 2nd and 8 on the 46-yard line, and Martin gets hit, bounces back, and gets to midfield. He'll still be shy of a first down by about 6 yards, as Michael Kendricks with good penetration. Great set of Eagle linebackers, and they'll use them all. Ryan, Kendricks, and Alonzo today.
Well, that's exactly what this team for the Philadelphia Eagles needs to do. They talked about getting penetration. Look at Michael Kendricks running right through, getting back there. Obviously, he wants to come up with that short tackle, but they feel that's the way to throw off this entire offense.
3rd down and 5 from the 49. Flag is down, and Winston's pass, and it is caught by Adam Humphries, the rookie from Clemson, and a first down pending the penalty. And the catch is made just inside the 40-yard line.
Offside. Defense number 75 moved into the neutral zone prior to the snap. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, the first down.
So Vinnie Curry, defensive end, offside, and so that 12-yard pass and catch will count, and a first down at the 39.
Philadelphia Eagles love this man coverage, but that's the second time, going back to last week, E.J. Biggers on 3rd down, giving up a slant for a first.
And here is Doug Martin, and Martin picking up a couple of yards.
It's going to be important for this Eagles defensive line to maintain gap discipline, especially on the backside of plays, because Doug Martin is a back that likes to bounce and do different things, and especially hit it backside.
Talked about the Bucs banged up, but they got Jackson back, and Jameis Winston, certainly the face of the franchise, and learning how to win, huge.
That's, I think, the biggest thing. They've had adversity, ups and downs, but when you have a young team, that's the biggest factor.
And here is Winston, and the pass incomplete, overthrown Mike Evans by a mile. Evans, of course, his favorite target. He has thrown a lot to Evans, who has emerged as a top receiver of this league, so that'll bring up another 3rd down, 3rd and 7.
Ball was overthrown, but Nolan Carroll had great defense and was all over Mike Evans on that play.
8th play of the drive here for the Buccaneers, right now on the Eagles' 36. Evans and Jackson split to the right, to the bottom of your picture. Winston going for Evans, and the ball is knocked away. The defender wasn't looking up at the ball, but it was E.J. Biggers that time, and the ball hitting him on the back, so it'll be incomplete, 4th down.
To bring the pressure up the middle, down the bow of Jameis Winston, he underthrows that ball. But as of now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense have not cured what they had last week in that game up against Dallas. 4 possessions on the other side of the 50, coming up with 0 points.
Darren Sproles back deep. He's a threat. Has returned an 89-yard touchdown return this year. Jacob Shum, the punter, from midfield. Trying to keep it in the field of play. And crowd looking for a foul against Tampa Bay. Get none. It'll be a touchback. And the Eagles will get it on the 20.
Game on Fox is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history. By Pizza Hut's Triple Treat Box. Make any night a holiday. And by T-Mobile. Ditch your carrier and switch to the Un-Carrier.
Going back to that, we were talking about the frustration Darren Sproles had. Well, he just took it out on Mike Jenkins, on the gunner. Gotta love seeing that. That's what brought these Philly fans and all this crowd to their feet for that big hit.
And turning the corner is DeMarco Murray, and Murray gets 1 yard after that. Jenkins probably said, I hope you get more plays today so you don't have to give me another shot here.
I hope he does too, and I know the Eagles fans hope that he does as well.
Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 on the 22. And here is Murray up the middle. DeMarco Murray. And Murray gets out to the 37-yard line, getting 17 yards before Bradley McDougal, the free safety, brings him down.
Great plays on the backside, cutoffs by Selleck and Jason Peters for his ability to cut back and take that one for 17.
When Ryan Matthews unable to play, Kenyon Barner is going to get a shot today, and Barner gets a handoff and is stopped by Levante David after picking up about 5 yards. So we're seeing Barner in his 2nd year from Oregon, acquired in a trade from Carolina, and he picks up 5. Sanchez. And he completes the pass to Zach Ertz. And now that's an incomplete pass, and that's the first incompletion thrown by Mark Sanchez today. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee for a game break.
All right, Washington at Carolina. Of course, the Panthers unbeaten, and they were up 7-0 until Kirk Cousins hooks up with Deshaun Jackson, the former Eagle, with a 56-yard score, ties the game at 7 on his first touchdown of the year. Of course, he's been out battling injuries. Dick, David, and Christina.
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. And the injured player on the field is William Golston, the defensive end. This is a team that has Jaquez Smith back in action, which is their best pass rusher, but now Golston is hurt.
They had the forced fumble earlier in this series, and this is the big thing that they cannot have anymore. They've already faced enough adversity with all the injuries that they've had. And the last thing that you want to be thin at defensive end up against this offense.
You're right, and George Johnson out with a calf injury as well. So they are thin at defensive end.
See him get twisted over that left leg. Does not look good, and he was very slow to get up.
He comes off, and Howard Jones from Shepherd University, number 95, will replace him. It'll be a 3rd down and 5. There is Jones. So the Buccaneers have had injuries on both sides of the ball, obviously. Darren Sproles, the 3rd down back, good receiver and runner. And here is Sanchez in trouble, and he'll be sacked inside the 35-yard line by Gerald McCoy. Gerald McCoy, who told us yesterday, I've never been to Philadelphia. I played the Eagles, never been to Philly, looking forward to it. I mean, I'm sure he was there with a 7-yard loss and a sack.
He's a dangerous penetration player, plays and run on the way to the quarterback, gets his one-on-one matchup against the right guard, and just gets that outside rip and is able to get upfield and come up with a sack.
So on 4th down, Donnie Jones will be kicking, and Bobby Rainey back at the 20. Good hang time by Jones. Rainey looking for room and is tackled around the 25. 7-0, the Eagles lead, scoring on their first possession of the game. But now the Buccaneers with a chance on offense.
Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are controlling the time of possession, but that's not their important thing. The important thing they're looking at, number of plays, and they've got 15 right now.
Here is Doug Martin off the left side, and Martin fighting his way for 5 yards. Cox making the tackle. Doug Martin 5th in the league in rushing, but he's been down a bit the last 3 games.
But it's not surprising. They haven't had Vincent Jackson, no Austin Seferian-Jenkins. It's giving defenses the ability to load up the box and force the games into Jameis Winston's hand.
2nd down and 5.
Sunday, let's go.
We go again to Martin, and he's going to be knocked back down for a loss of about 1 yard by Benny Logan, the nose tackle. I guess you know a lot of these defensive linemen for the Eagles.
I know a lot about these guys as an offensive lineman. I used to watch each and every one of them. I've seen them develop as football players. This is one of the reasons why I retired in 13 after that season. The way that Fletcher Cox, Benny Logan, Cedric Thornton have developed into these players, it is phenomenal, and it is a lot of credit goes to the Philadelphia Eagles.
3rd down and 6, and Charles Sims comes in at running back, good receiver. And they have 5 receivers lined up on an empty backfield for Jameis Winston. Gets protection here, and he's going deep for the running back. And Sims downfield, but the pass was overthrown, and a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
It's going to be on Brandon Graham.
Offside. Defense, number 55, moved into the neutral zone prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Indeed, it's on Brandon Graham. That's the 2nd defensive penalty.
This is the 2nd time they've done it. You're right, Dick. And the most important thing is I know you want to get a jump on the count, especially when the Bucs are going with the silent count. But you got to be disciplined. You can't give up those free plays.
2nd defensive penalty on Chip Kelly's Eagles. Cam Thiel again is reporting as an offensive lineman and an eligible receiver. It'll be 3rd and 1. And they flip it to Martin. He's going to get a 1st down and more. And Doug Martin in a foot race now to the 30-yard line, being chased by 2 Eagles and finally brought down. And we'll see when they mark it. But a huge run by Doug Martin. Finally, Nolan Carroll, the cornerback, brings him down. And a huge run by Martin of 58 yards sets them up here for perhaps a tying touchdown.
You see things are loaded up in the middle, so they're going to go fake ride right, toss left, wide open. Good blocking by the left tackle, Donovan Smith, the rookie, and just springs that big play for Doug Martin.
Longest run from scrimmage for Martin. It'll be 1st and goal on the 8. Here's Martin trying to find running room and gets inside the 5, bringing up 2nd and goal.
Doug Martin has a player that started off and emerged very quickly in the NFL. These last 2 seasons, he's had a lot of injuries, a lot of ups and downs, but the biggest thing that he does, takes pressure off of Jameis Winston and this offensive line that has moving pieces. They haven't had that continuity. The best thing they can do is establish run to settle everybody down.
Well, at the top of your picture is Mike Evans, who's been his favorite target. It'll be 2nd down and goal, and going Evans' way, and the jump ball, and did he make the catch? He did. Touchdown, the Buccaneers. And that's what Mike Evans at 6'5" can do in a tight covered situation. A 4-yard touchdown catch. Nolan Carroll on the coverage. They will review it.
Nolan Carroll takes the inside leverage, tries pressing to the outside to use the boundary as an extra defender, but the size of Mike Evans, the height, Jameis Winston puts it only where Mike Evans can go up and get it, and they come down with the touchdown.
And we'll see whether it is confirmed. It would be the second touchdown catch of the year for Evans, who in the last 4 weeks has been amongst the best receivers in the NFL in so many categories.
He really has, but the one thing that he didn't have were the touchdowns to go along with it. And the other thing, the 8 drops. Didn't show it this time, hasn't come up with those today, and gives the Tampa Bay offense the response that they needed.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
Interesting that Walter Thurman, the safety for the Eagles, kind of likened Evans to the great receiver of the Detroit Lions, Johnson, and Calvin Johnson, and he says he has that ability to outleap you for the catch.
And one of the things that the Philadelphia Eagles defense said is they cannot let him become the factor with these deep threats. They got to make sure that he's running the short, intermediate routes because of the size advantage he has and his ability to go up and get it.
You know, the Eagles made a point to tell us that they were really going to do things to take number 13 out of the game.
They said those were the 2 things. Number 1, they got to do something to get the run game going. And 2, they've got to move Mike Evans around to different positions on the field to create one-on-one matchups that he can win.
Let's send it down to Christina.
Well, just talking about Mike Evans here, spoke to him before the game, and he actually enjoys and looks forward to playing in cold weather. He had a couple of big games in low temperatures last year in Cleveland and Washington, D.C., and he said, I actually enjoy it. Don't have to worry about sweating. He said that actually contributed to some of the drops he had earlier in the year. But he was looking forward to this game today, and obviously, so far, getting off to a hot start here.
All right, thank you, Christina. So we're going to take another look at this, and the key is, does he get both feet in the end zone before it goes out of bounds?
You can't see from the other side, but it looks like from here that he did. And I understand Mike Evans wants to blame sweat, but this is football. You can't blame a drop ball on sweat, especially with these gloves these days. We've all seen the ability of what it helps players do as well.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And of course, it would have needed indisputable visual evidence to change it from the call on the field of touchdown. So Evans has his second touchdown catch of the year. The reaction from the quarterback, Jameis Winston. Nice applause. And now for the point after, Connor Barth looking to tie the game. So Evans with his first red zone touchdown catch. And the kick is good, and we're tied with 2:51 left in the first quarter. Big run of 58 yards by Martin set it up. So 58 of the 75 yards on that drive. Doug Martin with his tremendous run. And now we'll see how the Eagles respond. They scored on the opening drive of the game, David, and now Tampa Bay comes back with an impressive drive of their own.
It's going to be one that's battled back and forth, and we knew coming into this one that both of these defenses were going to be aggressive. They were going to try to attack, but as of right now, we're seeing very good football on the offensive side of the ball.
Josh Huff, who scored the Eagle touchdown, returning this kick from midway in the end zone and is tripped up. Good special teams play. That time made by Jeremiah George, former Jaguar. The Eagles, of course, winning it with defense. That's their success so far. When everyone thought Chip Kelly's offense would be the keynote, that hasn't been the way at all for the Eagles. And of course, the self-inflicted wounds told to us exactly that way by Kelly on the offensive side of the ball.
You know, this is a part of the season that if you were an Eagles fan, last week against the Dolphins, this week Tampa Bay, and next week against the Lions, you circled as wins. But they've got to get this one done. Everybody knows how important this is, considering after the Lions, Bills at Patriots, Arizona.
DeMarco Murray off the left side as the Eagles start from the 8, and it's carried out to about the 13-yard line. But you're right, they got that short week playing Thanksgiving Day in Detroit on Fox. And to lose back-to-back games at home to the Dolphins and the Buccaneers really would be crippling to them.
And it would take them a very tough job to step up and stay in the race for the NFC East.
Sanchez on 2nd and 6, and just off the hands of Brent Selleck. It was a good throw to Selleck, who was kind of open near the sideline, would have been a big gainer.
This is one last week that Selleck came up with. When you're taking those shots and shooting it down the sideline, that's what keeps this offense going. That first down is what gives them that tempo, gives them everything on their side of the ball to dictate the way they want to play.
So let's see what the Bucs defense can do on 3rd down and 6. Keeping the Eagles in. Sanchez pass and he overthrows Zach Ertz, the tight end. So Sanchez overthrowing both of his tight ends, and now it'll be 4th down. And Donnie Jones will have to punt from the end zone of the goal line.
Play before, a little bit further, but Selleck still hit him in the hands and could have come up with this one. This pass throw, completely overthrown. You don't always have to hit the deep ball. You can go to the check down, which we saw in that final drive that the Eagles had, where instead of checking it down to Selleck, he forced it in the end zone and gave up the interception that pretty much closed the game for him.
Bobby Rainey will let it be downed at about the 40-yard line. So the first one was catchable by Selleck, not so much the second one. Jameis Winston, who led the touchdown drive, comes back again on offense.
Well, Vincent Jackson, even though he hasn't caught a football today, he directly affects the production by Doug Martin because of the drawn coverage, the ability to not load up everything in the box, and we've seen Doug Martin explode with big plays to open up this entire playbook for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense.
Charles Sims is the running back, 1st down at the 41-yard line, and Sims getting the call. He's 2nd in rushing and receiving for the Buccaneers, brings it out to the 45 for a pickup of 4 yards. Jameis Winston said he was a Philadelphia Eagles fan growing up in Alabama, and the reason why was the excitement of Randall Cunningham. Remember Randall Cunningham, who used to run and was an exciting quarterback for the Eagles? Now he gets a chance to play against them. 2nd down and 6. Here's Sims again, and he's gone nowhere thanks to Kendricks. No gain on the play. Kendricks with his 2nd superb stop.
Great job by Kiko Alonso coming downhill, taking on Logan Mankins to really stuff things right in the middle for Kendricks to take the outside path and come up with the tackle for a loss.
So now another 3rd down situation for Tampa Bay.
Kiko Alonso, watch him come downhill. Logan Mankins, one of the best pulling guards in the league, takes him low, has nowhere to go. Kendricks outside, big tackle.
3rd and 6 from the 45 of the Bucs. And they're going to get it out to Sims, and Sims has some running room. Sims inside the 40-yard line has a 1st down. So all the big gains, most of them have come from the Bucs today. That good for 17 yards. Again, here's Kurt Menefee with a game break.
Well, 2 Cam Newton touchdown passes put Carolina up 14-7 on Washington. But after the second, they had to kick the ball off. And Andre Roberts says, thank you very much. 99 yards later, he's in the end zone for the tying score. Washington fighting unbeaten Carolina, all tied at 14 as they start the 2nd quarter. Dick, David, and Christina.
All right, thank you very much. Kurt, Doug Martin back in there, a 1st down on the 38. Deep drop this time by Jameis Winston, and the pass is going to be caught by Mike Evans. Evans making the catch and a big play inside the 15-yard line. Jenkins was there to make the play as the 1st quarter comes to an end. A 25-yard pass play. Jameis Winston on the mark. And we're all tied up at 7-7.
This is the end of the 1st.
Jameis Winston with a touchdown catch. Doug Martin with a huge run to set it up. And Mike Evans, 2 catches. He has caught 8 passes in 3 of the last 4 games, and that matches a career high for him. And now it'll be 1st and 10 on the 13th of the Eagles as we start the 2nd quarter. And here's the slant pass into the end zone, and it's a touchdown to Vincent Jackson. So they had not gone to Jackson until now, and they get pay dirt with it, and the Buccaneers have taken the lead.
Back-to-back plays. Mike Evans before and Vincent Jackson getting complete free releases at the line of scrimmage. I understand that they're 6'5" and they're threats, but at 6'5", both of them at the line of scrimmage expose their chest. and they've done nothing to reroute them in their coverage and to give them the best benefit of the doubt to stop either one of them.
You can hear a pin drop here in Philadelphia as Jameis Winston with his second touchdown pass of the game. Connor Barth for the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Buccaneers have taken a 14-7 lead on the first play of the second quarter. Thanksgiving weekend, we've got some of the best rivalries in college football, including the game of the week on Saturday when Notre Dame takes on Stanford in a must-win game for both teams' playoff chances. It all starts Thursday on FS1 and continues all weekend long.
And if we go back to two plays, the one right before the Vincent Jackson, this is what set it up. Look at Mike Evans. They said, we've got to stop Mike Evans. As of right now, you have done nothing. Two back-to-back plays where neither one of them are jammed at the line of scrimmage. They're playing off coverage, and it plays right into the benefit of both of these big receivers.
You know, David, they said more than we've got to stop him. They said we have a way of taking him out of the game. And we were curious about what that would be.
And here's the touchdown. Another quick slant on Nolan Carroll, whose opposing quarterbacks have attacked the most. Giving up one right there for the touchdown.
Third touchdown catch of the year for Vincent Jackson, who has had 6 1,000-yard seasons, including the last 4 campaigns. Kickoff headed to Josh Huff. The ball is bobbled. And it is picked up by Riley Cooper. And Cooper will bring it out. And he gets it out to the 24-yard line. So time for another game break. Let's check in now with Mike Hill. Mike.
All right, guys, Cowboys don't have a lot of interceptions this season, but they're 6 going for 6. Rolando McClain picking off Ryan Tannehill. 7-0 Cowboys. The defense helping Tony Romo and that offense in its return to the lineup. Back to you, the birthday boy, Dick Stockton and David Deal.
Thank you, Mike. Of course, Cowboys really need to win them all the rest of the way in a very tight division, and right now the Eagles are down. Here's the scoring drive for the Buccaneers. Darren Sproles on the pass reception, but the Buccaneers are there, and a minimal gain of about 1, and it was Quan Alexander who got out there in a hurry.
Showing his speed and his play range as a linebacker, and the only draft pick they've taken as a defensive player, it's really panned out for him.
Here's Sproles off the right side as a runner. He gets to the 25. So it'll be third down and long for the Eagles. And you saw their rundown of what they've done on offense so far. And after the opening touchdown, they have come up empty. Now they face a 3rd and 7.
This is where the Buccaneers defense is aggressive up front. They'll run twists with their defensive linemen, but also they will bring that pressure right down the bow of the quarterback. Here it comes.
3rd and 7. And the pass is incomplete, thrown behind Nelson Aguilar. Good pass rush coming from the right side. And so the Eagles, now 0 for 3 in third down conversions, will have to kick it away.
See Levante David mugged up over the center, wraps around. They were able to pick it up, but you see the pressure. Mark Sanchez feels it and knows he has to get rid of the ball quickly.
Jacquez Smith took off with the snap of the ball, and so Jones kicking out. Bobby Rainey backs up to the 25. Rainey flagged down as Rainey will go out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Penalty flag is down.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 31 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down. Timeout.
That was Major Wright. So that'll set back the Buccaneers. We'll come back. Tampa Bay ball. They're leading 14-7.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Cricket Wireless, the Merrier Carrier. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. And by Citizen Echo Drive, fueled by light. It never needs a battery.
Was that your first cheesesteak the other day?
That was. It was my first cheesesteak in Philadelphia. It was fantastic.
And Winston loses the ball, but it's recovered by Tampa Bay. As the ball came out of his hands, a fumble recovery, and Jaworski Lane, the fullback, makes the recovery.
By the offense. Second down.
And it's second down, and it was Walter Thurman who got
They bring Walter Thurman off the edge. He's able to get around and look at him. Looks like a defensive end coming around the edge to come away with the strip. That's one that needs to bounce their way. They talked about the safety, that they were hoping that it would have been a touchdown instead of a safety, and that's one they come up with it. They're giving their offense possession right in the red zone.
I mean, when you came here playing for the Giants, you never got a cheesehead.
No. Number one, you're not eating that before a game, and number two, I didn't think it would be the brightest move.
Here is Doug Martin, and Martin brings it out to the 15-yard line. Kendricks is there, gain of 3. So it'll be 3rd and quite a bit for the Buccaneers. 3rd and 15 from the 9-yard line. Now the Eagles are looking for a stop that could give them good field position in an effort to get back.
It's a time where this Eagles defense would thrive if they could create that turnover, because out of Jameis Winston's 9 interceptions, 6 of them have been on 3rd down.
Steady hands off to Rainey. Loose ball, fumble at the 20.
As a defense, you know when it's 3rd and long like that and you're backed up, it's either going to be a draw or a screen.
Bucs recover. And exhale in the process. Could have given the Eagles a golden opportunity there. Instead, it'll be 4th down. And Shum will come in to kick.
Michael Kendricks doing a good job of getting his hand in there and being able to rip it out of Rainey's hands.
But the Eagles could be looking at good field position. Here it is again. Boy, that was a good strip there. And the Eagles have made a habit of that this year. So Shum is kicking, and Darren Sproles near the 40, his own 40. Good punt. Backing up Sproles. He has it from the 29. And he is hemmed in and is tackled at the 36. Well, DeMarco Murray, who has gained 36 yards, has averaged 6 yards a carry coming out. And during the break, Chip Kelly had his offense all bunched up on the sideline for good reason. Here is Sanchez, completes to Aguilar, who is taken down immediately. There'll be a loss. Sterling Moore. Boy, is Moore and I.J. Barima really emerged since moving into the cornerback spots.
It's given them a lot more confidence with the ability of both corners to have more pressures, to be able to play single high and not have to play Tampa 2 each time.
2nd 11. Here's Murray. And once again, nothing. No gain on the play. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 11.
Quan Alexander, he fills gaps fast, he gets off blocks, gets the penetration upfield, and he is an effective blitzer as well.
You know about David, you know about McCoy, but add Quan Alexander to what he's given this defense. And going underneath and completing a pass to Zach Ertz will be shy of the 1st down, and a hard tackle made. And a couple of the players going at each other after that hard tackle, and there's an Eagle shaken up. It was Sterling Moore, and it's Ertz, the tight end, who's down on the field.
He left his feet. When he was coming down, it looked like he hit his head and the back of his neck on the grass. It's one thing when you leave your feet and you know that corners and other blitzers and anybody coming for that tackle are going to try to go low because of his size.
Now Ertz has gotten up, and he's right at his own sideline, and they walk him off, coming off his best performance of the year with a 7-catch, 68-yard game against the Miami Dolphins. But it is 4th down. And so Rainey will go back again. So after that opening touchdown on the first drive by the Eagles, now punting for the 4th consecutive time.
They're just not in sync. They haven't had a complete full drive since the 1st quarter. And the big thing that they said is they cannot allow penetration because it's stopping the run game and it's throwing them off track, and they're trying to play ahead of the chains.
Here is Rainey at the 10. Eagles are there. And Rainey is finally brought down at the 15-yard line. That's been the story for the Eagles all year long. They've really not gotten this offense going, and this was supposed to blossom this year.
Today's game is sponsored by Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. Sign up now.
Hey, triple. My 50, my 50, my 50.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers on their 15. About 5 minutes going by in the second quarter. Fake a pass, handoff to Martin. Doug Martin with another burst. Here is Doug Martin being chased from behind by Nolan Carroll. And Martin still working his way in and is knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line by Connor Barwin. Another huge run by Doug Martin. 58 yards to set up an early touchdown. 84 right here.
All starts up front with the block, and they're able to solidify, get the double team, seal things. Jaworski Lane is able to take on Kiko Alonso and just spring Doug Martin. But I think if you give any running back that amount of room and that amount of space, that they're going to be able to do something big. And Doug Martin is doing it today with 2 huge runs.
Already with 172 yards on 10 carries. It is 1st and goal at the 1 for the Buccaneers, threatening to take a 2-touchdown lead. And a delay of the game penalty, so now it'll be 1st and goal at the 6. These are the penalties that drive Lovie Smith up a wall.
And rightfully so. The biggest thing that you want to do is you want to still use that momentum on your side, but at the same time, everybody's celebrating that run. Get back in the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, and get the next play off.
So now they got to work from the 6. A lot different from the 1.
Ready! Ready! What's up?
And they give it to Doug Martin. Boy, he's tough to bring down, isn't he? Martin gets inside the 5. And again, tempers flare a bit on the field. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Everybody knows Doug Martin's ability to get yards after contact, his toughness, but look at his patience. He lets the blockers develop, gets Jaworski Lane through before he hits it full max speed. It's a sign of a veteran player right there, not forcing anything, not running into the back of his offensive lineman. Let it develop and take it downhill.
2nd and goal now from the 4. Winston looking to throw, tosses it, and it is almost intercepted by Malcolm Jenkins on the pass intended for Vincent Jackson. And Jenkins nearly got it. Good pressure by Barwin to make Winston hurry.
Great pressure. It starts with Connor Barwin, if you can see him down at the line of scrimmage here. But then you see Walter Thurman add on there at the end. We're able to get that pressure. You know, Billy Davis wants to be aggressive in critical situations, especially in the red zone. They come up with a nice one there.
Almost did. So now 3rd and goal from the 4. Winston's pass at the end of the end zone. Touchdown, Russell Shepard. Russell Shepard, who Jameis Winston told us yesterday, I have a great respect for him. He said he's the most selfless player on the field, great at special teams, and he caught it at the end of the end zone, and of course they'll review this one.
See him here in the slot. They're going to run it out. They're thinking that they're going to rub. Nobody picks it up. And like I stated earlier, quarterbacks have been attacking Nolan Carroll, and that's a 2nd touchdown he's given up today.
And that's the first TD catch of Shepard's career, 4 yards if it is confirmed. So Jameis Winston with 3 touchdown passes already, and it is confirmed. And Connor Barth on to try to add the 21st point. Well, this crowd is stunned, because this defense hasn't been solid either, as well as the offense. And the Eagles now trail the Buccaneers 21-7. The big run once again by Martin to set it up, and the touchdown pass to Russell Shepard with the exclamation point. So already 3 touchdown passes by Jameis Winston, and we still have 8:06 to go in the second quarter. And Shepard, Jackson, and Evans with the catches for the touchdowns, and Connor Barth will be kicking off to Josh Huff. Huff is going to run this one out from the goal line. And Huff with a great run back gets tripped up and gets to the 40-yard line. You know, this is amazing, David Deal. Here we have Jameis Winston has thrown for 74 yards, 3 touchdown passes because of Doug Martin.
It really has, and they're a run-first team to establish everything. Vincent Jackson back to alleviate the pressure that they've had of loading up the box. But you got to give a lot of credit to this offensive line, the tight ends and the fullback, for their ability to open things up, really get the double teams on the Fletcher Coxes, the Benny Logans, and the Cedric Thorntons to spring things and let them open up their playbook.
Huge start today on the road for the Buccaneers. Sanchez swings it out to DeMarco Murray, who is wrestled down after a gain of 4.5 yards on first down. But today the Eagles offense continues to stumble and the defense not picking up their end of the bargain.
One of the biggest things is you know that when you're going up against this Tampa front, they're going to slant, they're going to move, and you got to pick those things up so you don't give up the penetration.
And this time Murray now a yard short of the first down. Let's send it down to Christina Pink.
Well, Dick, remember Zach Ertz injured on that last Eagles offensive drive, their tight end. He is still back in the locker room being evaluated for a head injury.
All right, thank you very much. Tough guy to miss. And the first down, good spin move by DeMarco Murray. And so the Eagles keeping it on the ground here in this possession, trailing by 2 touchdowns. And they get another first down to the 42 of the Bucs.
That's where it's great having Jason Peters back. He has the size matchup going up against Jacquez Smith. He outweighs him by 60, 65 pounds.
Kenyon Barner with the run off the right side. That's a big weight advantage.
It is. It's a big weight advantage, but also it moves Lane Johnson, who is much more comfortable and a better right tackle, to the other side to help out on the edges.
Second down and 6. Sproles into the game now, and Darren Sproles gets it to the 35-yard line. And that will bring up 3rd and about 3 on the 35-yard line. So far, Murray has gained 51 yards rushing. That's nearly 6 yards a clip. 3rd and 3. Sanchez gets it out to Sproles. Sproles has running room. Sproles inside the 20, 10, he'll score! You've been touting that all game long, David Neal.
I have. Darren Sproles is a matchup nightmare. Great job by Mark Sanchez looking off, throwing the screen to his right. Kelsey Tobin able to get in the open field to set things up.
35-yard touchdown play.
It's the exact response that they needed to have offensively. See Mark Sanchez look things off, looks, pump fakes to his right, gets it back, or pump fakes to his left, gets it back to the right to Darren Sproles, allows the offensive line the time to get out and block in the open field and leave the rest up to Darren Sproles.
That's his first touchdown catch of the year, believe it or not. And they go to him a lot, and here's Caleb Sturgis. And he adds the conversion, and now the Eagles, after punting 4 straight times, scored a touchdown on the first possession, and a big one here to bring the Eagles to within 7 points. Knew it was Darren Sproles' first TD catch this year. Didn't know it was 2 years since he has scored as a receiver. And there is the scoring drive that gets the crowd back in the game here in Philadelphia. And the Eagles trailing 21-14, 6:04 remaining in the second quarter. This kick into the end zone, and Bobby Rainey will down it for a touchback.
Talk about Mark Sanchez, but look at the right guard, Matt Tobin. Mark Sanchez does a great job looking things off, pump faking to his left. Look at Matt Tobin, gets out in the open field, is in charge of the alley, runs all the way downfield to pick up a big block and lets Darren Sproles do the rest. I mean, that's clinic right there if you're an offensive line coach looking at the screen.
And you know, David, maybe that'll wake up the Eagle offense that has been snoozing so far in this game. They were impressive on the opening drive for a touchdown to take the lead, and then punted 4 straight times until that score. So now the Buccaneers from the 20. Play action. Winston to the sideline, beautifully executed to Vincent Jackson, and a first down. Take a look at the standings that affect both of these teams. In the NFC South, as you know, Carolina unbeaten, Atlanta in second, Tampa Bay trying to get to 500, already owns a win over the Falcons. And in the East, it's tight as sardines. The Giants off today, 5-5, and a victory today by the Eagles. Time for the lead. Handoff to Charles Sims, and Sims works his way out to the 40-yard line. And that'll bring up second and short.
And that's the thing, if any Giants fans out there, the last thing that they want to see today is an Eagles win, because the Eagles have had their number, and we all saw the way that the Eagles played on Monday Night Football against the Giants.
Well, they've got to be happy that Carolina leads 28-14 over the Redskins in that other important game. Second down and 3. Sims off the left side. He'll have the first down as a flag goes down, and a second one from upfield flies as well.
First one's going to be on Evan Smith. He gets a hold on Kiko Alonso in the pursuit.
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
That's exactly what it is, holding against Evan Smith. Penalties have plagued the Buccaneers, and they normally do with the teams trying to learn to win.
Especially like we said with this offensive line, the last thing that you want to do is put yourself in third and long positions where this defensive line can really be more aggressive.
Pass out to Jackson. They didn't go to him early, but Vincent Jackson, who missed the last 3 games with a knee injury, now in there more. Let's check in with Mike Hilligan with the game break. Mike, what do you have?
So much talk about Cam Newton dancing this week. Well, he's tap dancing all over the Skins defense today. 4 touchdown passes, already a career high. That one to Greg Olsen. 28-14 Panthers in the first half. Dick, David, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you. 3rd down and 4. Eagle fans looking for a 3rd down stop.
Hold the 50, hold the 50, hold
Winston, and it's caught for the first down by Sims to the 47-yard line, picking up 8 yards in the process.
Nice job by Mike Evans. He has the out. Sims is patient enough, lets that clear before he takes that inside slant to open up things and get the first.
Buccaneers 5 for 7 on 3rd down conversions today. Hand off again to Sims. So Sims as a receiver, now as a runner, and he gets into Eagle territory to the 49, getting 4.
They're moving the ball. They're running it effectively. You know, this is a time that this Tampa Bay offense is taking shots downfield with the play action. Let's see what they do here, if they're going to stick to the ground game or if they're going to get it outside to one of their big receivers.
Well, they bring Doug Martin back in there. The 2 tremendous runs today. 2nd down and 6, looking one way and completing it to Adam Humphries, but the Eagles are right there, and the tackle is made by Fletcher Cox. So a good play made on Sims.
What a play by Fletcher Cox, being able to recognize that as an interior defensive lineman to run right flat down the line of scrimmage to come up with a big tackle. Put him inside. I'm going to see him see it. He clears it. He's playing his 2-gap, identifies it right away, and is able to run out and make a big tackle. He is an absolute beast this season.
No question. So once again, a 3rd down play, 3rd and 5. Sims, the running back, to the top of your picture is a receiver. Winston's pass, and let's see if the catch is made. It may be, and it may not be enough for the first down. That was Sims who had to go low for it. We'll see where they spot it. And it looks like they have enough for the first down from here. And the clock stops at 2:09 when we have a measurement coming up. If he doesn't make it, do you go for it?
With the way that this offense is playing and running the football, this is a chance where they may go for it on this 4th and 1. Especially if it's minimal. This is one where you let Jameis Winston use his size and run the quarterback sneak.
It's going to be short by about a foot. So now it'll be 4th down and less than a yard.
Jameis Winston is running back out on the field. They're going for it.
The ball is at the 44 of the Eagles. Doug Martin will be out there as well. You know, Winston can use his legs. He hasn't run a play running today yet.
And also, as a defense right now, you have to make sure that you're disciplined, because you know this is a time where a quarterback would love to use a hard count.
And they're going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning before they run the play. 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia with the Buccaneers leading the Eagles 21-14 and a 4th and inches coming up. Back in Philadelphia, get apps, videos, and more at itunes.com/NFL. 2-minute warning, and it's going to be 4th and about a foot for the Buccaneers. Why didn't they run a play there? Let the 2-minute clock go down, David. What's your thought on that?
I know you're thinking that you have the Eagles defense back on their heels and get back up to it, but more importantly at this time, you have the 2-minute warning. Take your time. See if you can tell what personnel that the Eagles defense is going to be in. And if you're going to execute this, you want to do it at your maximum confidence, and that's what they did.
Well, the Buccaneers are challenging the spot of the ball. And if they win the challenge, they don't have to worry about 4th and inches. There's Jameis Winston over there with Benny Logan, the tight end, mixing it up here during this break.
Well, when the ball was caught, he was kind of down, but he was rolling to the first down. Did they touch him before the marker? I think that's what they're trying to review right now. Here it is. You see the catch by Sims, and he's kind of rolling. Where does the contact take place? Is he short? They're just trying to put themselves in the best position. Number one, if they get the first down, which I don't think that they did, but how much closer they can inch up.
How about the personality of Jameis Winston? Here he is in this game that both teams need, and he's chatting with the nose tackle of the opposition.
Well, that's not a surprise. I mean, you usually go through those things. I remember, you know, Terrence Newman, the defensive back, measuring the height of Chris Nee and Rich Seubert, our two guards, because they were arguing which one was taller.
Well, who's taller?
He declared that Rich Seubert was.
Okay. We had to settle that.
Yeah.
Here's Brad Allen.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball was short of the line of the game. Tampa Bay has charged a timeout and their first challenge.
So they upheld the call and a timeout to Tampa Bay.
Here it is again, but
you were right. I think
you could clearly see he wasn't past the sticks. Right there. Look at where his knee, where's the ball? It's before the marker. And here we go. 4th
Number
and
64 is an eligible receiver. 64.
And again, Kevin Pamfield, the tackle, is an eligible receiver.
Ready! Go ready!
And they give it to Martin, and he'll get the first down with ease. So Martin with a first down for the Bucs to the 41-yard line. Keep in mind that the Buccaneers now have only 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half.
Takes that one backside. You see Logan Mankins and the left tackle Donovan Smith blocking everything down, clearing that hole for him to cut back and to get the first.
Wonder whether Martin might have been shaken up as he leaves the field, replaced by Sims. It'll be a first down.
Let him go!
On the 41. Winston. And this pass is caught and protected well by Adam Humphries, the rookie from Clemson. Biggers is on him all the way, and a gain of 25 yards. And the Bucs in business again as we check in again with Mike Hill in L.A.
All right, guys, Cowboys and Dolphins, and it's official. Tony Romo is back, going up top. And Terrence Williams, 31 yards for the score, making it 14-0 Cowboys. But Ryan Tannehill just threw a touchdown pass. 14-6 Cowboys in the second. Dick, David, back to you.
All right, Mike, and of course of interest to the Eagles. 1st and 10 now on the 16. Sims remains in the backfield for the Buccaneers. Winston getting some time, and it's batted down, and loose ball and incomplete. It was deflected by Connor Barwin, but the ball was live there and could have been intercepted by an Eagle.
The pass was touched by the defense.
Connor Barwin has a knack for doing this, getting his hands up in the passing lanes. But this play before is the one with Jameis Winston just showing his poise and his patience, letting things develop, letting that deep crosser open up before delivering that football. That's a sign of a mature young quarterback who's grown each week.
He's completed 12 of 16, David, for 133 yards and 3 touchdowns. Second down and 10 from the 14, and this one right in the hands of Barwin. You couldn't ask for a better chance for a pick right there.
Back-to-back plays for Connor Barwin. He's rushing, but he knows that if you don't get home, watch the eyes of Jameis Winston and get your hands up. If he catches that, that's pick 6. It's gone. Looking right at the eyes of Jameis Winston, hits him right in the hands. That's one that you can take, hopefully that good fortune in return, and completely flip it and put the momentum back on your side.
Instead, it's 3rd and 10. Winston giving ground, and his pass trying to thread the needle, and it is caught for the touchdown by Sims. The Eagles had him sandwiched down there at the 1-yard line. He made the catch. It was Byron Maxwell and Michael Kendricks, the linebacker. Sims was able to make the catch and find his way into the end zone for a big touchdown.
We just talked about Jameis Winston's poise, but look at that catch in between traffic. Jameis Winston gets it right over the head of Kendricks, and what a grab for Sims.
And the extra point attempted by Connor Barth. Still waiting to confirm it. But what a catch by Charles Sims, who has made an impact in this game with 3 catches and a touchdown, and he's gained 35 yards. And now Barth trying to give the Buccaneers once again a 2-touchdown lead. And he does, and the Buccaneers, who have been offensively challenged, lead 28-14. Well, if the devil decided to quit, where do you think he would go? Well, Los Angeles, of course. That's what happens in the new Fox show, Lucifer, and he gives bad a good name. Lucifer is coming in January to Fox. Jameis Winston with 4 touchdowns in a brilliant first half of play. We didn't have to go long on any of them because of Russell Martin's runs and so forth, but who's counting? 13 plays, 80 yards. And that is a season's high, 4 touchdown passes with 1:05 left in the half.
This is what being able to run the football does for your offense, and what led to this scoring drive, the conversion of the 4th and 1.
You're so right, David. 217 rushing yards by the Buccaneers in the first half here against Chip Kelly's defense, averaging over 11 yards a clip. Of course, the big runs, of course, by Martin. Josh Huff returning the kick, and he is wrestled down. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee and find out what we have in store coming up soon.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, it's backup day. Brock O gets the go as a Bronco. Case Keenum is in for the Rams. Matt Hasselbeck is back for the Colts. Sanchez looks to make his mark in Philly, and Yates tries to bust out of the gates early. And let's not forget the guys who backed me up. Oh, we say that in love, right?
You got it. And here is Sanchez completing the pass to Brent Selleck for about 8 yards on first down. Keep in mind the Buccaneers won the coin toss and deferred, and they'll get the ball back when we start the second half. Sanchez on the run, and it completes the pass into Buccaneer territory to Selleck. 2 straight passes. Selleck for a total 26 yards.
Timeout.
And a timeout called by the Eagles. They have 2 remaining.
real nice job of pocket poise and presence for Mark Sanchez to be able to feel the pressure coming around the edge, step up, work his way up into a little bit in the pocket, deliver a nice accurate throw.
He has completed 12 of 16 for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you'd have to say he's delivered coming in as a backup, but an experienced one in this game.
And that's something that a lot of teams don't have the fortune of, having a quality backup with the amount of starts that Mark Sanchez has had.
First down from the 48, and they're going to throw a delayed flag. And one of the Buccaneers defensive players had jumped offside, then went back. Eagles are claiming there was contact.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Jason Peters.
The reason why they call that, because the left defensive end is the one that jumped off sides. It's less than 2 players removed, so if you're on the opposite side at left tackle, you can't blame it on movement on the other side of the ball.
First and 15 now on the Eagle 47. Sanchez completes the pass to the 49. Only 10 more yards. Pass caught by Jordan Matthews. A flag goes down as well.
Roughing the passer, defense, number 95.
And they're going to call roughing the passer against
automatic. First down.
the Buccaneers' Howard Jones, who came in for the injured William Golston. That's costly.
See him going right down the bow. Number 95, ball's out, still running, gives the hit. Now what's it do? Gives 15 more yards for this Philadelphia Eagles offense to try to put another touchdown on the board.
Or at least 3 if they can. 5 yards on the reception plus a 15-yard penalty. And the ball is deflected and incomplete. And getting a piece of it was Henry Melton. So that will stop the clock with 27 seconds left in the half and bringing up 2nd down and 10.
He's lucky that nothing else happened, because it looked like Selleck wasn't even looking for the football on that throw.
Sanchez on the screen pass over the head of Sproles, unable to make the play. So now it's 3rd down and 10.
It's just a bad throw. We saw Mark Sanchez make a nice one on the touchdown that Sproles took. If he delivers that football to Terrence Sproles, he's got 3 offensive linemen out in front to be the lead blockers and protectors for him.
3rd down and 10. 23 seconds left. Sanchez drills it, and it is intercepted. Pass is intercepted by Levante David. And the Buccaneers, with the turnover, getting the ball back, stopping the Eagles in their bid to get some points before intermission and get the ball back with 16 seconds to go in the half. For David, his first interception of the year.
It's on Mark Sanchez. You see his eyes staring him right down, telegraphing that throw, and that's been the MO of Mark Sanchez. Last year, his 8 starts, he was 4-4, but during that time, 14 turnovers. You've got to control the football and not take the risk, regardless of whether it's a 2-minute drive or not.
Well, the Buccaneers are not going to take the risk right here. So the Bucs have forced a turnover in 17 consecutive games. That's the longest active streak in the NFL. Looking to confirm the turnover, which of course all scoring plays and turnovers have to be confirmed by a booth review. So first interception of the year, if it's confirmed, by Levante David, who has got off to a slow start this year and has really come on.
He really has. Last week was his best game this season, and you could tell his leadership has helped turn Quan Alexander into who he is as a football player.
Well, this is not the same Tampa Bay Buccaneer team we've seen the last few years. And the crowd showering the field with boos. It's halftime with the score 28-14 Bucs. We now go to Kurt Menefee in LA for the Visa Halftime Report. Today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. All action led by the Buccaneers, and that was today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. So it's 28-14. The Bucs lead the Eagles as we get set for the third quarter. And of course, David, the Buccaneers will get the ball first in the third quarter, but we'll learn a lot about the Eagles in the next 15 minutes.
We sure will. They are a second-half football team. They're outscoring opponents plus 40 in the third quarter. Their biggest thing is, obviously, you want to run the football game and get the ground game going, but they've got to get more production out of their wideouts. Jordan Matthews, Nelson Aguilar. They've got to step up to open up things to solidify their game plan and to show that they have that plus 40 in the third.
You're right, and the Buccaneers will start from the 20-yard line, but it looks like the wide receivers have been totally silent in this game as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, the Bucs have really been able to move the ball on this Eagles defense. Lovie Smith told me at the half, hey, the running game helps, but he really likes the way Jameis Winston has spread the ball around. 6 different guys have caught passes for him. Defensively, he said that screen pass to Darren Sproles really hurt us. He said he can't let that happen. Chip Kelly told me, well, our offense is just stalled after that first drive. We're hurting ourselves with the drop passes, and when receivers are open, we're just not hitting them. Also, Zach Ertz has been ruled out with a concussion.
Thank you very much, Christina. So self-inflicted wounds once again plague the Eagles offense, but I'll tell you, Jameis Winston having a sensational game as he didn't see the target and smartly ran it out of bounds for a gain of 3.
The thing that you see is the poise, the confidence, but the biggest factor is that he's not being risky with the football. He's playing as a solid quarterback and a quarterback that's not trying to prove himself as the first pick in the NFL draft.
He has delivered, there's no question, and not every rookie quarterback gets to play a full schedule in his first year. Some have to sit and wait, but not Winston. Here's Doug Martin off the left side, and Martin getting out to the flag is down, by the way, as we get to the 26-yard line. Jameis Winston, second quarterback in franchise history. Steve DeBerg was the first with 4 TD passes in a half.
And the biggest thing right there, 0 interceptions. He is controlling the football, and he's being smart with the way he's going through his progressions and not forcing anything.
Personal foul, clipping, number 78, offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
That's on Gosder Cherelis, the right tackle. So that'll set. I don't think he agrees with that one, do you?
Oh, tell me a time where an offensive lineman agrees with the call. It could be a blatant holding call. And there it is. It's a chop block is what they got him for. You know, believe me, I understand that there's different things in zone schemes. I was never a chop blocking offensive lineman. Why? Number one, for me, I wasn't good at it. I was way too tall. And number 2, I want to look somebody in the eyes when I hit him. I don't want to be a guy that goes low on people.
You know, some people may believe you, some may not. Anyway, you didn't want to be sneaky about things.
No, I mean, like I said, number 1, I was never good as a chop blocker. But number 2, use your athletic ability. Beat a guy to the point and get your block done, not doing it by going at somebody's knees.
In other words, earn it.
Earn it.
Second down and 18. Ball back on the 12-yard line. 5 receivers, and it was a movement by the Eagles, but the pass is complete to the 19. Cameron Brate to tight end, but a flag came down. It looked like one of the Eagles had jumped.
Connor Barwin. They're doing a great job with the snap count. Jameis Winston is changing it up, and that's the third one by the defensive ends for the Philadelphia Eagles today.
Offside, defense, number 98. 5 yards from the previous spot. It remains second down.
So the Bucs get 5 of those yards back.
See Connor Barwin right here at the top of the screen. It's one thing with the silent count. You're thinking that you're getting a bead on that motion of the center with its head going up and down. There's a silent 1 hold. There's a silent 2. Doing a nice job of changing it up.
Here's Charles Sims. Flag goes down. 2 of them, in fact, as Sims is ridden out of bounds. And Lovie Smith and the Buccaneer bench pointing to perhaps a unnecessary push.
It's going to be Evan Smith again. His second one of the day.
Sims and Byron Maxwell. There have been more conversations between the two teams during lulls in the play that I've seen in many games.
Here are fouls by both teams on the play. Holding, offense number 62. Personal foul, late hit, number 97. The penalty is offset. We will replay second down.
So Taylor Hart and the Buccaneers were right on the late hit.
You know, it's a tough day for Evan Smith, but you've got to give him credit. He is a natural center. That is his position. That's where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have brought him in from the Green Bay Packers to play. But with Ali Marpet out, he's stepped outside, and this is his second game in a row at that right guard position.
Brings up second down and 14 from the 16. Play action. And here is Winston on the run, and the pass is caught by Mike Evans. And Evans going out of bounds, and that will be a first down for the Buccaneers.
Look at Jameis Winston on the road. Much different football player, and it all goes down to that touchdown to interception ratio. I don't know what it is for some quarterbacks going into hostile environments. They thrive on it, and Jameis Winston is thriving right now off of the adversity that his Philadelphia crowd is trying to give him.
And remember, former Eagle fan growing up. Hand off to Sims. Sims brings it out to the 35-yard line. Doug Martin, remember Doug Martin came off the field and looked like he was a little shaken up, and Sims played the rest of the way in the first half. So wonder whether Martin may be banged up a bit, or they're giving a guy who has 177 yards a breather.
I wouldn't give him a breather at this point because you just had halftime to get your rest. So there might be something wrong with Doug Martin. We'll have to see as this game continues.
Good point. Second down and 6. Sims. And Sims will lose about a yard on the play. Thanks to Michael Kendricks. Time for a game break. Mike Hill.
Guys, your number 1 overall pick, Heisman winner, having a great day. Carolina's having a better day. Cam Newton dabbing on them folks. His 5th touchdown pass of the day. That one to Devin Funchess for 5 yards. It's 38-14 Panthers in the 3rd.
All right, Mike, someone ought to tell Jameis Winston that Cam has 5. He's got 4. Got to catch up a bit. 3rd down and 8 meanwhile. And Doug Martin is back in the game. Doug Martin back in there. And Winston's passed, and it's caught by Adam Humphries. And Humphries will have a first down. Biggers, the former Tampa Bay Buck, on the coverage. A pickup of 10. Well executed offense by Winston.
They've got to do something to help B.J. Biggers out at that nickel position because he is getting absolutely killed today. Gave up the big slant last week in the 4th down against Landry on the Miami Dolphins. Just an option play. He goes inside and hits it back out to Humphries, continuing to move the chains in this drive.
Humphries has 4 catches for 50 yards, and he leads Tampa Bay receivers.
Let him go.
First down at the 43. And here's Martin. Look at Martin juke his way and get some yardage. Good run by Martin, and he gets about 6 yards on the play. Taylor Hart with the tackle. Martin now at 183 yards, and his 177 was a franchise high rushing in the first half today.
And he's doing a great job, like I stated earlier, being patient, letting things develop, and then once he's hit, see that hole develop, hitting it hard.
2nd and 4. This time Martin will just get back to the line of scrimmage on forward progress. So 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Buccaneers. You know, in this game, in the NFL, as you well know, David, that when you have a lead, you run the ball, you use the clock, and you wear down an opposition if you run it effectively.
And what it's also doing is putting them in 3rd and manageable downs, which on the road you need to have in order to have success offensively.
Penalty marker, and I think a delay of the game. Well, let's see.
12 players on the defense.
12 players.
It's a 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
And that's what you normally see when the Eagles have the ball, with the opposition having 12.
Talked about self-inflicted wounds, especially on 3rd and down.
You know, everyone here has been looking for the Philadelphia Eagles to finally break through and show something offensively, but they remain lackluster. This is a lackluster performance so far by the Philadelphia Eagles on both sides. It'll be a first down on the 46. Here's Doug Martin. And there'll be a loss by a yard and a half.
We're going to look back at the 4 touchdowns that he's thrown today. The one outside to Mike Evans. The crossing route. Touchdown to Vincent Jackson. Another one. And here's the last one with the pretty catch by Sims.
Those are Winston's outstanding numbers so far, and he's thrown to 6 different receivers. It'll be 2nd and 11 at the 47. Fingers pointing, flag down. Full start.
Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So a false start penalty against the Buccaneers. We've had 10 penalties in the game, 6 called against the Buccaneers. So it'll be 2nd down and 16. As we said, the Buccaneers penalty plague throughout this campaign. Winston tries to throw a pass with his left hand.
Incomplete forward pass. Number 22 is in the area.
And fortunately, Doug Martin was in the area, so there's no intentional grounding after Fletcher Cox put the pressure on.
Fletcher Cox is fighting up against a tough offensive guard, and Logan Mankins just continues to work, fight, and is able to come up with that one. It's funny seeing Jameis Winston trying to throw that as a southpaw. Trying to get rid of it and save himself some yards.
An ambidextrous quarterback. 3rd down and 16. Good protection for Winston, and the pass is caught for the 1st down by Vincent Jackson and out of bounds. You couldn't ask for better protection by the offensive line, and an Eagle is shaken up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 24-yard gain, and it's Vinnie Curry who is hurt.
They only rush 4. Charles Sims with a devastating chip block to the left. Gives Winston enough time. Allows the wide receivers to get to their max points and delivers a great ball.
And for Vincent Jackson, coming back after missing 3 games, his 4th reception of the game. Meanwhile, they tend to Curry, and we'll take a break.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK. And by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home.
And back here in Philadelphia, it'll be 1st and 10 on the 28-yard line of the Eagles. Buccaneers driving, and the pitch going to Sims. And Charles Sims, still on his feet, breaks the tackle and gets to the 23, where Thornton makes the tackle.
Now, one way for the Philadelphia Eagles to get back into this game is to get their offense out on the football field. But when we talked to Jameis Winston, he said, I know firsthand how important it is to control the line of scrimmage, control the time of possession, because Chip Kelly may have not been the coach, but I faced that Oregon team in the national championship.
He knows how tough it can be and how he could really have some breakdowns. Meanwhile, in the 2nd down and 5, and a couple of flags come down. False start penalty against Tampa Bay. Meanwhile,
false start. Offense, number 78.
And it's against
5-yard penalty.
Cherilus. The Eagles have already given up 28 points, and that's the most they have surrendered in any game this year, trailing 28-14 with 8 minutes to go in the 3rd.
And look at how much time is left on the clock, only 7 minutes, and this Eagles offense is still standing on the sidelines cold.
Including that man.
Yep.
2nd and 10 from the 28. Boy, they're really using clock. Doug Martin. Flag is down, and Martin getting to the 24.
Joe Howley, the center for the Buccaneers, completely held Benny Logan, trying to cut him off on that zone.
It is against the Bucs, as you indicate.
See him going front side, trying to work.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, number 68, offense. 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
It's on Hawley, and We said the Eagles really not getting the job done on both sides of the ball, but as Red Auerbach, the great Boston Celtics coach who led a lot of championships in the NBA, once told me, you got to remember, it's not solitaire out there, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have so much to do with what the Eagles are doing today.
They do, but they're moving the ball in this drive. But what are they doing? They're the ones having the self-inflicted wounds on this. Holding, false start, it keeps knocking them back out of the red zone.
Meanwhile, Philly's still looking for a snap here in this third quarter. And here's Winston's pass, and it is caught for the first down by Cameron Brate. And you want to talk about kind of a backbreaker, not in the game itself, but after the penalties, and as you say, self-inflicted wounds, they get a 24-yard pass to move the sticks and continue possession of the ball with under 7 minutes to go in the third.
And that's a matchup that you think Byron Maxwell would win as a corner going up against a tight end. Cameron Brate got the best of him on that one.
Once again, we've said it many times, Kevin Pamfield, number 64, extra offensive lineman and an eligible one at that. Here is Doug Martin. And the Buccaneers with a short gain, but they don't mind seeing that clock run down. And Barwin making the tackle.
It's an impressive drive by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they're taking off it's the entire third quarter where that plus 40-point differential isn't a factor right now.
You said it. If the Eagles are going to do anything, the third quarter would be the great barometer. Second down and 7. Here is Doug Martin again, and Martin diving a couple of yards shy of the first down. He was down to about 3 yards short of the first down. And so you're right. The offense sitting on the sideline and standing and getting cold, and the defense having to work hard. What's the fourth quarter going to be like when they have to go out there, this defensive team?
Well, if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers score on this drive, they're going to be forcing a lot of things to try playing catch-up with this time.
Cox is down on a knee. Fletcher Cox, what a long day, especially long second half so far. It is for the Eagles defensive team.
There's Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator, talking to Jameis Winston, and you've got to give Dirk Cutter a lot of credit. The way that he's changed this offense, doing a nice job of changing up zone blocking, outside sweeps where they're getting their guards and the centers out in open space to make blocks, but then also still the ability to find the matchups at the wide receiver position to open things up.
And he makes quick decisions to keep the team out of trouble. He says he sees incremental improvement with him. He says people expect him to deliver in a big way right now. He says there are others who have sat for a while before they played, but Winston has been tossed in as the #1 overall pick. And now the play continues, and the 15th play of the drive coming up, which has consumed more than 9 minutes. Third down and 3 on the 8. Winston's pass caught for the touchdown. And it's Cameron Brate beating Kiko Alonso in a mano-a-mano play for the ball. And Brate, who's been used a lot today, as is Adam Humphries as additional receivers. And the Buccaneers score and lead 34-14 in an incredible third quarter drive in which the Eagles have yet to get the ball.
Cameron Brate doing a great job of going up to go get that football. Jameis Winston actually throws it inside. Almost that Kiko Alonso. He's able to go up, use those strong hands to come down with the touchdown.
So Connor Barth looking to add the 35th point. Buccaneers scored 30 and losing to Washington in really a heartbreaking loss earlier in the year, 31-30. And this kick gives them a 35-14 lead. 38 was the most they scored against Jacksonville. But here is the touchdown to the tight end Cameron Brate, and the Tampa Bay beat goes on. How about this? 15 plays, that's great. 80 yards, that's great. 9:47, that's phenomenal because it's consumed us all quarter. And as we go back to Brate, this is a tight end who is in his first year out of Harvard. So the Ivy League gets a kudo today with Cameron Brink. And down in the end zone by Josh Huff and Mark Sanchez, who's had a long rest, friends, coming up.
Today's game is sponsored by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
We're back, and Jameis Winston got his 5th touchdown pass, so he's tied with Cam Newton, who has 5 for the Panthers, who are winning their game 38-14 over the Redskins. But here are the Eagles with their first play from scrimmage in the 3rd quarter, and it's DeMarco Murray, and he gets 1 yard.
As an Eagles fan right now, the last thing that you want is the pressure on Mark Sanchez to throw the football.
He's completed 13 of 20 for 144 yards, 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception, being flushed from the pocket, and the pass is caught, but for nothing really, and that's Jordan Matthews. He was covered by Sterling Moore, and everybody in the house, including the Tampa Bay defense, knows what he must do, and that is throw. Loss of 1 on the play. So it'll be 3rd and 10 on the 20. Darren Sproles to the left of Sanchez. Passes it, and it is caught by Riley Cooper. He's been a forgotten man as of late, and that will be a first down for the Eagles. Riley Cooper.
It's his first catch in 5 games. He's been non-existent.
Only 12th of the year, and he got 18. First down on the 39 now. Sproles slices off the left side and gets to the 45. Good run, getting 7. Well, they got to play hurry up, I think, for the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, that's something that they're used to, is going fast, but it's now about quality of each play, not just quantity.
Amazingly, this is a team that likes to run a lot of plays. Tampa Bay has run so many more plays than they have. Here's a pass thrown for the first down to Brent Selleck. 7-yard pickup. This is the offensive leaders. Murray has 52 yards and 10 carries. And Huff with the touchdown catch on the opening drive of the game for Philadelphia. Ball on the 49 of the Bucs. Sanchez hands off to Sproles. Nothing doing.
Keaton Spence at the point of attack does a nice job against Jason Kelsey, stacking, getting his hands inside, shedding at the last minute to come up with the tackle on Sproles.
Second and 10. Sanchez off the hands of Sproles, out of bounds, and that will bring up 3rd down. So right now the Buccaneers have run 54 plays and the Eagles 43. This by a team that makes his name by really running more plays than anyone in the league. This will be the 8th of this drive. Third and 10. Sanchez gets out of trouble and incomplete off the hands of Trey Burton. And it's 4th down.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Nice coverage on the back end by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, playing one-on-one, covered up, and the last thing you want is the pressure on Mark Sanchez. Because what does he do when he can't get his feet set and he's trying to scramble and do the things that he's not prone to doing? Throws a bad ball and not able to convert on 3rd.
Bobby Rainey back. And he'll let this one bounce, and it'll be a touchback. So the Bucs will get it to the 20, and there's no secret what they're going to do. Sanchez, tough day today, but his team is in a big hole, and we know he has to throw to get back in. Earlier this month, as part of the NFL Salute to Service, and in partnership with the nonprofit group Pro vs. G.I. Joe, several Eagles players played the Madden NFL video game against troops serving overseas. Pro versus G.I. Joe was established in 2007 and connects troops with professional athletes through video games.
This is the land of the free because of the brave. Thank you all the men and women who have served or who are still serving for our great country.
We have what we have because of them. Doug Martin with 6 yards on first down. Sanchez 16 of 25. But this team has been outgamed, talking about the Eagles, 463 yards to 247.
Even, my 59, my 59.
2nd and 4.
Ready. Blue ready. Blitz up.
Martin. And it'll be 3rd down and 2. Well, Jameis Winston coming to Philadelphia, former Eagle fan, going on the road, trying to win back-to-back games to team. 31 games, 3rd rookie in NFL history with 5 touchdown passes in a game. And this is a team that has had scoring drives of 80 yards on 2 occasions and 85 on 1. 3rd down and 1. Martin may have it. And he does.
I don't know if anybody just saw that, but we talk about smart decisions. Jameis Winston is trying to go in and get a block to help push Doug Martin. Watch him here at the end of the play. Don't get me wrong, I love your effort and you're willing to fight, but do not do this. Do not try to get in there, Jameis Winston.
Number 64 is an eligible receiver.
So a first down on the 31-yard line. By the way, Winston has thrown those 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers.
Talk about spreading the football around.
Has he ever? Here's Winston with time. Going to air this one out, and it's going to be caught once again by Mike Evans. Evans with a first down, 19 yards in all. And that will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Carroll was defending on the play, and Evans now with 4 catches. Evans, Jackson, and Humphreys all with 4 receptions in the game. Jameis Winston having a game for his rookie year. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Start of the 4th quarter, Dick Stockton, David Deal, Christina Pink. Eagles were shut out in the 3rd quarter. And it's 35-14. 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers at midfield. And Martin breaks a tackle, and Doug Martin. They can't bring him down, and they finally make the tackle at the 23-yard line. What's this?
Dick. It's Dick Stockton's birthday, and we want it from ourselves and our crew. Happy 146, Dick.
You know, maybe about halfway through that mark. Thank you very much, David. I'm going to blow out the candle. Okay? Thank you. You guys are great. I got the greatest crew in the world, starting with you and P.T. Navarro, Wayne Wilson, Chirag Gavaskar, Matt Shapiro, 27-yard gain on the last play. And they run it again. Bill Garrity's our spotter. Evan McGuire, our statistician. Couldn't be with better guys.
We feel the same way about you, Dick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you bake that?
No. Come on, you know my skills in the kitchen are not good.
How about Doug Martin? 231 yards, his 2nd career game with 200 more. First was against the Oakland Raiders.
And without Vincent Jackson, the 2 games before this, he only had 94 total.
Martin, by the way, the record 251, 2nd down and 6. And they go to Martin again. And Martin will get the first down. So the Eagles know that Doug Martin is going to run. And whether it's Sims or Martin, they're going to run the ball, and they're running well, and Eagles can't stop them.
And look at this block. They're getting department from all over. Look at Luke Stocker deliver the blow. I mean, they're just up front. They're winning the battle. And that's what's provided Doug Martin and Sims to run the way that they have.
1st and 10 on the Eagles 12. And they go again to Martin, tell me what do you feel like as a left tackle and offensive line when your running game is so good you got a guy with like 200 yards?
It's one of the best feelings in the world, because as an offensive lineman, you don't want the credit, you don't want the praise, you don't care about the headlines in a newspaper, and usually during a football game, the only reason why your name is getting called is when it's not a good thing, when it's a penalty or a sack. So when you can produce yards on the ground like this, it's the best feeling in the world.
289 yards for the Buccaneers as a team. Sims, who's in there now, has 42.
Little dog's coming.
Second down and 7.
Yeah, little dog's coming.
Ball is at the 10. Winston, and the intended receiver was Jackson. So that'll be 3rd down and 8.
I understand that they're ahead of this game, but this is not a time to take your foot off of the gas. You've got to finish drives, and especially down here in the red zone, you've got to continue to have that confidence throughout the game and not give any life back to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And right now they have the second most total yards in franchise history. You have to go back to 1980. 3rd down and 7.
Delay a game.
Charge timeout.
Ooh, they got it
Tampa
before.
Bay. They're first. And prior to the delay, it will be 30
So the
seconds.
Buccaneers, knowing that they were faced with a delay of game, quickly called the timeout.
You know, we just talked about keeping your foot on the gas. 35 points right now up against a defense that was 9th in the NFL, only giving up 20 points a game.
63 plays they have run to 44. Well, Thanksgiving weekend, we've got some of the best rivalries in college football, including the game of the week on Saturday when Notre Dame takes on Stanford in a must-win game for both teams' playoff chances. It all starts Thursday on FS1 and continues all weekend long. You know, the Eagles, after this, have to go play Thursday in Detroit on Thanksgiving. Game will be seen on Fox. So a very short week coming up for them. 3rd down and 8. Winston, pass through the hands of Adam Humphries. And a flag down. Penalty marker.
I think it's going to be the 3rd hold on Evan Smith of the day.
Yep. That's what it looks like.
Holding. Offense number 78. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
No, it wasn't. It was on
Shirless.
Shirless.
They got the right tackle for it. Humphries.
If Evan Smith, sends me an email, I'll send it over to you.
Well, that was one they actually got it on a stunt. They were actually running a twist at the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the ball. They punched and passed it, and where they threw it, I thought they got Evan Smith with it.
I think you've called just about every penalty seconds after they happen. Anyway, a 28-yard field goal attempt coming up for Connor Barth, who missed one last week, but is 14 for 16, his second tour of duty with the Buccaneers, and the kick is good. So Tampa Bay Buccaneers with 38 points matches their season's high back on October 11th when they beat Jacksonville 38-31. We'll be right back. Connor Barth, who just kicked a field goal, breaking the string of 5 touchdowns scored by the Buccaneers, will be kicking off. And Josh Huff, who has the only touchdown for the Eagles, well, at least in the first half. And it's down to the end zone for a touchback. We'll be right back. Still early in the 4th quarter.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Xbox One, the official game console of the NFL. By Target, expect more, pay less. And by Miller Lite, back in its original bottle, but not for long, it's Miller time.
Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. First down run by DeMarco Murray. Gets him about 5 yards. Murray has gained 57 yards on 11 carries, averaging over 5 yards a carry. But when you're down that much, you can't say, well, the running game should have been better. Here is the pass by Sanchez, and it's caught by Brent Selleck. Zach Ertz went into the locker room with an injury, and right now we have a Buccaneer shaken up.
Looks like Bradley McDougald.
McDougald made a big interception to cap the win over Dallas last Sunday, but he gets up on his own power. We'll take a break anyway. First down on the 39 for the Eagles. Murray bounced away from a defender, and then finally Jacquez Smith put him down. A pickup of 3 yards.
I understand that there's 11 minutes left and you can't be one-dimensional with his offense, but at the same time, you've got to pick up the passing game here to get back into this game.
Here's a screen pass to DeMarco Murray. Loses the ball, picked up by the Buccaneers.
Ajay Barima is the one who came up with that hit.
Yep, and they got the ball back. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the initial call on the field. Get it back on a turnover. That was the signal by the official, and they'll review it, of course.
Ruling on the field is a fumble with a recovery by the defense.
Looks like his elbow was down. The ground is what caused it. I don't think that it's going to go to Tampa. See, I think that ball is going to go back to the Philadelphia Eagles.
So they will review this this play.
Ruling on the field of a fumble with a recovery by the defense is under further review. Timeout.
So we're going to take a break here. It's still plenty of time to go in this fourth quarter, and a good play made there by Barima.
Game is sponsored by T-Mobile. Ditch your carrier and switch to the Un-carrier.
They're reviewing the turnover and the ruling on the field.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has been changed. The runner was down by contact with his left elbow. Will place the ball at the 48-yard line. It will be 3rd and 1 from the 48 at the hash mark closest to the Philadelphia bench.
David Deal could have saved a lot of time there because you saw the elbow down when the ball came out, so it'll be 3rd and 1.
Got to thank Mike Pereira back in Los Angeles for helping us with this as well.
He gets an assist.
He does. It's like Stockton and Malone.
That was a combo. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 48. And this will be a first down as Murray crosses midfield. So they're not going total pass here. Are you surprised that they are running the ball somewhat?
Like I said, I understand that you don't want to become one-dimensional, but time isn't on your side right now. You've got to pick things up, and you've got to put points on the board.
Bradley McDougald is back in at free safety for the Buccaneers after being shaken up a few plays ago. Sanchez trying to buy time, goes to the sideline and throws it away. Sproles closest to him. All right, time for a game break, and let's go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Well, with Philadelphia being blown out and Washington down by 30 points, Dallas trying to get back in the NFC East race. Tony Romo back with Des Bryant. They lead 24-14 in Miami. Dick?
All right, Kurt, thanks very much. And this pass, and that looks like it's intercepted by the Buccaneers. Chris Conte with a pick. And how elated are the Tampa Bay players coming off the bench. Chris Conte with the interception. Second of the game by Mark Sanchez. And the Buccaneers will take over on their 35-yard line.
They get pressure. You're going to see it around the edge. Jacquez Smith is able to get it. Then they start getting it down the middle. That ball is completely thrown outside of Riley Cooper. He can't even come close to it. You see Chris Conte's eyes just looking right through, following Mark Sanchez. able to come up with a big interception.
And that's McDougal, who was hurt, who just came back. And so that's the first pick by Conti this year. And the Buccaneers will have it on the 35 with 5 minutes gone by. And this is a beleaguered Philadelphia Eagle group we're looking at right now. In a game that they needed so much, especially after losing to Miami last week. Handoff is to Sims. I mean, this was a chance in this division with a win today to go into first place tie with the Giants. But Jameis Winston tying a rookie record with 5 touchdown passes, second most franchise history rushing yards. Doug Martin's 240, and the second most franchise history in total yards with 527. And Atlanta and Indianapolis in a 21-21 tie. Falcons at 6-3 are right now in second place in the NFC South. And this pass is knocked away, intended for Brate, and it was Nolan Harrell.
With Thanksgiving coming, here's a little Pop Warner, Jameis Winston at 11 years old in Hoover, Alabama, getting the victory. But just watch Jameis Winston run. Still has the same mannerisms that he does now as a professional player. And who would think now, looking back, that he'd be setting records right now in his first year as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting quarterback.
No question. Same gait as a runner, same delivery. As he has said, loves the pressure of the game, a vocal leader, and has just unmistakable joy in playing the game. Maybe not on that play, however. As he gets hit, they're going to rule it an incompleted pass. Pressure that time by Connor Barwin.
The ruling on the field is a forward pass, an incomplete pass.
You saw Winston up close. Tell me what the guy is to you physically.
You know, one of the things that I've seen with Jameis Winston is that you could see he is getting much more defined and muscular. Unlike in college where he had baseball during this after football, you can see that he's hit the weight room and that he's putting on some muscle and some bulk that he needs to take hits like the one that he just took on third down.
So it is a fourth down. Jacob Shum kicking to Darren Sproles. Sproles at the 12 and doesn't get anywhere. Good special teams play that time by Mike Jenkins.
We just showed the Pop Warner Turkey Bowl, but look at this. We were able to get Jameis Winston's notebook from when he was 11 years old. Tell me that this guy did not want to play in the NFL. Look at what he's doing at 11 years old. He's putting down the traits that he wants. He's breaking down cover 2 defenses. I mean, tell me another 11-year-old that's writing these things down in their notebook instead of just drawing up backyard football plays.
So it is safe to say that we really can't call him a rookie anymore.
Well, no, he's still a rookie until after this season.
Right, but I mean as far as a rookie.
Oh, no, you're still a rookie, Dick. Believe me that. Don't get me wrong, he's performing well, but as a rookie, you're still probably getting some coffee and some food for some of the guys as well.
I want to find out about that, but you may be right. I mean, and he doesn't want to act like he's a big timer yet. Sanchez. That's complete to DeMarco Murray out to the 22-yard line. Sam Bradford, of course, injured last week. Reported separated shoulder and concussion, and came out after the first half of the game. He was acquired for Nick Foles in a trade with the Rams last year. And this one is caught by Jordan Matthews. Chip Kelly felt that, he would take the chance in having Mark Sanchez as his backup quarterback. And so he could trade Foles for Bradford, who became the leading quarterback. By the way, Foles breaking a collarbone. Case Keenum come in, so we're in an age of the backup quarterbacks doing a lot of the work at this point of the season. Sanchez completes the pass, and DeMarco Murray with a good bit, but staying in bounds, and he gets the first down as well, picking up 12. For another game break, let's check in with Mike Hill in Los Angeles.
Falcons have had their issues, and they're continuing today against the Colts. Matty Ice, Matt Ryan picked off by DeQuell Jackson. That's a pick six. We're tied at 21-4. Dick, David, back to you.
And, of course, that affects the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, too. And pass is incomplete, intended for Kenyon Barner. Falcons at 6-3 in second place, and the Buccaneers go on and hold their lead to be 5-5. It could be a 6-4 if Colts win.
Yep. More importantly, in this league, you've got to take care of business yourself. You can't rely on other teams to win, lose. You've got to take care of it yourself and win games and stack them.
Sanchez to Sproles and pushed out of bounds, which of course is really a big problem for the Eagles after this game.
It really is. This was an opportunity for them to take a jump in this division. It looks like Washington is going to lose to Carolina. The Giants are on the bye. Tony Romo now coming back, but they've lost the last 7. This was an opportunity for them to take a step up in that race and gain some confidence in these games that you would look at and think that they should have won.
Yet, with all of that,
they're still in the mix.
Right.
Offense number 47. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Burton with the false start. Isn't that crazy in this division that you can look as bad as you did in 2 weeks like this? And
it's all about finishing, Dick. It's about finishing games and finishing the season. A lot of football left to be played still.
No question. Everyone always thinks it's going to be settled early. Completion to Riley Cooper, and Cooper has a first down into Buccaneer territory at the 42-yard line, picking up 25 yards.
See the one-on-one breaks inside. Gets a stop. Sanchez is able to hit him. It's the thing, continuing to move. But the emergence of these receivers catching balls now in the fourth quarter, they needed this earlier.
First down to Selleck. When he gets in a rhythm, Sanchez can look awfully good.
He sure can, but like I stated earlier, they needed to get their wide receivers more involved earlier in this game to open up things for them.
So the ball now on the Buccaneer 28. Hand off to Darren Sproles. He'll be about 5 yards short of the first down as we wind down to 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. 5 touchdown passes by Jameis Winston to 5 different receivers today. And Sanchez will be tackled from behind. And that will be Jacquez Smith. He missed his pass rushing. That's his 6th sack of the season.
Sanchez had nowhere to go with the football with the coverage that the Buccaneers had. Tried to run with it to gain some extra yards. Jacquez Smith had to take him down.
Third down and 7. On the slant, Miles Austin. Had a little rough time last week and couldn't hold on to this pass. NFC East current standings. The Giants off this week at 5-5. The Redskins losing by 30 points, headed for 4-6. Eagles headed at this point for 4-6, and the Cowboys could be 3-7. Dallas is up by 10 with 2 minutes to go in the game. And a field goal attempt, 43 yards, attempt by Caleb Sturgis. And Sturgis' kick is good. I know a lot of people that are still here are booing because why don't you go for it? But you got to get something. You just can't say we're going for touchdown and nothing else. And the Eagles setting up for a onside kick, and all of the players with good hands are up front for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it's recovered by Tampa Bay.
Dick, you know we like to give out the award to a player who was the done deal, and the done deal today was Jameis Winston. 5 touchdown passes, 5 different receivers, controlled the tempo of this football game the entire day. comes up with a big play, big game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this is exactly what they needed to get their first time to back-to-back wins.
No question, David, and as you pointed out, who is the face of this franchise? You're looking at him right there. Number 3, 5 touchdown passes, tying an NFL rookie record. Maybe is impressive. The fact that no interceptions, so 5 of the last 6 games he has not thrown an interception, at least to this point with 5:09 to go.
That's a growing, mature rookie quarterback, making progress each and every week.
First down on the 45 of the Eagles. Here is Doug Martin trying to go outside. He has been so tough to bring down, and finally, it's like a college wrestling match. He is taken down by Connor Barwin and loses 5. How about, you're right about Winston, the rookie, 5 touchdown passes, but how about Martin with 235 yards?
It was a very tough decision, but I had to give it to Jameis Winston. But Doug Martin getting it down on the ground, the offensive line playing extremely well today, not only in the running game, but in pass protection to give Jameis Winston the time.
And of course, on a couple of those touchdown passes by Winston, Martin had set him up with huge runs, getting him in that spot. 523 total yards. Does that tell the story? Well, the most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken. And you can see him on The Herd every weekday at noon Eastern, only on FS1. Second down and 15. Martin wending his way, gets a couple of yards. 3 touchdown lead for the Buccaneers, and they just want to use up clock, and the Eagles call a timeout, their first. Correction, that was the second timeout by the Eagles. They have 1 remaining. It is 3rd down and 12, and they'll hand it off to Martin, who stopped in his tracks. Good play made there by Brandon Graham, a loss of 3.
It's one of those ones that defensively, 3rd and long, when the team's going to be conservative, you're going to look for the draw or the screen. Didn't fool the Philadelphia Eagles on that one.
So the Eagles using their last timeout. So it'll be 4th down and 15. Dirk Cutter has to be so proud of what this offense has done today.
It most certainly has to be, Dick. The poise by the quarterback, the ability for the offensive line, contributions from everybody all across the board. This was a total team win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And they will go 5-5. Finally winning 2 straight. After 31 games, it's been the longest mark. They have a penalty flag down. It's got to be a big win for Lovie Smith as well, going on the road to Philadelphia. It'll be a hold.
Holding, kicking team number 48. That 10-yard penalty will be assessed from the dead ball spot. It will be 1st down, Philadelphia.
So let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles right now, because this is a team, and you talked about, they had golden opportunities last week when you, like you said, we're going to beat Miami, we're going to beat Tampa Bay, and they lose both of those games. So
this is, like I said, going into this one, this is a game that they would have circled as a win, but unfortunately the way that they've played today, the inability of the offense to control the football, the defense being out on the football field for way too long, giving up over 500 yards. I don't think this is what any of us expected coming into this game.
So the question I would ask you is, how do you write this? And they've been trying to write this offense all season long. The defense has more than held up their bargain, but not today.
Well, number one, obviously getting the ground game going still more. It's something that's been an issue this entire season, to have the consistency running the football. Obviously the other thing, the tight ends have contributed, but you've got to get more out of your wide receivers outside. Yes, you want to get tight end matchups against linebackers, but you've got to win deep with your wide receivers.
Brent Selleck on the completion. Here's the upcoming schedule. As he said, coming up in a short week, the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. And don't be fooled by 3-7. Detroit always seems to play well at home on Thanksgiving Day. And there's an interception run in for a touchdown. Flag is down. There's a penalty marker down. And Levante David runs it in for the touchdown, pending the flag. David saying, is it a touchdown?
It was illegal substitution by the offense. The receiver who substituted did not come inside the numbers. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
So it is a touchdown. Levante David with his second interception of the game runs this in for a touchdown, and it's 44-17.
Levante David is watching Mark Sanchez's eyes the entire time. Mark Sanchez is going to throw the screen to Darren Sproles. Does not fool Levante David, makes a clean break downhill on the football and is able to come up with the pick six.
So Sanchez with his third interception of the game, and it is now been a rout since halftime, and the extra point by Connor Barth, and it's 45-17. It was a 20-yard interception return for a touchdown. Huge game for the Bucs. And for Levante David, who's been one of the stalwarts on defense for many years for the Bucs, win or lose, his first career interception return for a touchdown, and a miserable afternoon for Chip Kelly and the Eagles, getting routed here 45-17 with 4:16 remaining. Huff is back. And the Eagles will start from the 20.
Here's Levante David. He has Darren Sproles come to his side. He sees it clear, able to make the break. Bad throw by Mark Sanchez. Completely floats it to the outside. This is what happens when adversity hits. You can't be blaming that on Darren Sproles, though, Mark Sanchez. That pick is on you.
4:16 remaining. On a keeper, Sanchez is down. This is the most points that the Buccaneers have scored this year. The 45 they have, and certainly without question the most points allowed by the Philadelphia Eagles. And the 17 points given up to this point. Second lowest of the year to the 6 that Dallas scored last week. And there is Kenyon Barner up the middle. And that is a first down. Mike Hill with a game break.
Guys, Broncos, Bears down 8 late. Jeremy Langford, 2-yard touchdown run, so they got to go for 2. Give it back to Jeremy Langford. Denied. So Brock Osweiler gets his first career win as a starter. 17-15 Broncos.
Thank you very much, Mike. And Jordan Matthews with the catch as we wind down to 3 minutes to go. You know, a few weeks ago, you thought that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had reached rock bottom, and that was going to be it for them as Barner carried. They were routed by Tennessee 42-14 in week 1, came back and beat the Saints on the road in week 2. But the low point had to be against the Redskins on October 25th. They were up 24-0, only to lose the game as Barner carries again. And then they lost 31-30 after being up 24-0. And Lovie Smith, in talking about that, said, we reached rock bottom there, but the key was we were good enough to have a 24-0 lead. We were good enough of a football team. And they responded, and next week they beat Atlanta in overtime on the road.
Where Jameis Winston converted in that overtime 3 passes on 3rd down.
Sanchez goes down, and a loss on the play. Howard Jones with the sack. and a loss of 4 yards. So this is a resilient Tampa Bay team that has come back to the point where they're going to be 5-5. And with the Colts beating the Atlanta Falcons 24-21, Atlanta now is 6-4.
This is
so they're all
the 2-minute
alive.
warning.
2-minute warning here in Philadelphia.
Today's game is sponsored by Subway Restaurants, legendary sweet onion chicken teriyaki. Subway, eat fresh.
Packers and Vikings coming up next in America's Game of the Week on Fox. And it's the Vikings that have a 1-game lead. They're playing at home. Your thoughts?
You know, going into this season, I think everybody just circled the Green Bay Packers as the clear winners of the division. But Mike Zimmer and this Vikings football team are tough on both sides of the football. And Adrian Peterson is right back to the form of who he was before everything happened and he was suspended.
Barner getting 8 yards on the play. What's your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers? 0 for 3. And we know how great a quarterback he is.
R-E-L-A-X. We've heard him say it before. A lot of football left to be played, and if there's anybody that you do not count out, it's Aaron Rodgers.
I agree with you. I mean, this team is going to bust out of this slump. Maybe in a big way, and it could come today. Who knows? But you know, the Vikings have done well. I think Zimmer's done a tremendous job as head coach of this team, giving the team some teeth. 4th down and 4. Jones kicking and Rainey with the fair catch. 1:05 to go in the game. 45-17 the score. "31 games in a row since winning back-to-back. Longest active streak goes by the boards for Mark Sanchez in his first start since week 17 last year. A lot of experience, but David talked about it. The running game really didn't set the tone. They couldn't get the ball outside, and Jameis Winston had a rookie game for the ages with 5 touchdown passes, and Doug Martin with 235 yards rushing, his longest an 84-yard run. An impressive win. 3 interceptions as well for a great team effort to go to 5-5 on the year. And this team is relevant to say the least, the Buccaneers. And that will do it. So the Eagles will drop to 4-6. The Buccaneers 5-5. They've won 2 in a row. They've got the Indianapolis Colts on the road next week. The Eagles Thanksgiving against Detroit. For David Deal and Christina Pink, Dick Stockton saying so long from Philadelphia. 45-17, the Bucs beat the Eagles. Now let's go to the State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee and the boys in Los Angeles.